This is big breaking news. People are now dying across the country after this strange and mysterious disease is spreading to more and more people. And it's not a typical disease, it's spread through getting bit, all right? Let's get into all the details. You guys can see this happened just a few days ago. It said, man dies hours after eating burger as researchers confirm fatal allergy. The New Jersey resident suffered a fatal reaction from alpha-gal syndrome caused by a Lone Star tick bite. All right, this is something that I've been talking about for a few years, how this is becoming more prevalent and it's spreading to more people. It seems like more ticks are carrying this and transmitting it to people, right? And making them allergic to meat, and red meat specifically. There's a protein in it that it makes you allergic to it, and you have a shock-like reaction. You go into anaphylactic shock. You can see here it says a New Jersey man's death is the first known to be linked to a tick-borne meat allergy, according to researchers at UVA Health in Virginia. The unidentified man, 47, reportedly died last summer, 4 hours before eating a hamburger and just weeks after a similar episode triggered by a steak. With the summer episode, the man experienced severe abdominal pain, diarrhea, and vomiting after eating the steak. Right, so this happened a few months ago, and they just got the results back and confirmed that this is the first confirmed death linked to this. All right, we've seen serious reaction to this. We've seen people get really sick when they eat meat that have this alpha-gal syndrome, but this is a first confirmed death as well. And this is very concerning. This can spread to almost any mammal can get this disease as well too. So even like your dogs can get this. Your dogs could potentially have this. They're getting bit by a tick or something, you don't even know, and now they're allergic to meat. They can't eat their dog food. They're getting sick. They could have a shock syndrome. Like, this is pretty wild, and it seems to be increasing in frequency. Let me know what you guys think is going on down below, why this is happening more often, but it's something to be aware of. And it says here, especially if you've had a tick bite recently from the Lone Star tick, which has a big dot, a white dot in the middle of it. It's like a dark red, like burgundy color with a dot right in the middle of it. And I've had these things on me before, and they're swarming the southeast. All right, when I was down there last year, I was getting swarmed with ticks constantly. Every time I walked outside, I was getting a tick on me. It was insane. I remember I literally made a video, and there was a tick crawling up my leg in the middle of the video. And I got it on my finger, and I literally showed it to everyone on the video. Comment down below if you remember that video. It was last year. And it's crazy, all right? Certain areas are like swarming with these ticks, and a lot of them are the Lone Star tick. There's deer ticks. There's Rocky Mountain ticks. There's, different kinds of ticks, but these are the ones that actually make you sick and give you this alpha-gal syndrome, the deer, or the Lone Star. It says the incident was initially reported as a, quote, sudden unexplained death until Dr. Thomas Platzmill of UVA Health determined the man suffered a fatal allergic reaction. The findings were published in the Journal of Allergic and Clinical Immunology in Practice. The allergy alpha-gal syndrome, also known as, quote, red meat allergy or tick bite meat allergy, is caused by the bite of a Lone Star tick, which is found primarily in southeastern and eastern states, according to the CDC. It says the tick's saliva contains a sugar molecule called alpha-gal, which is injected into the body with the bites. This triggers allergies to certain types of red meat, primarily pork, beef, rabbit, lamb, or venison. or products made from mammals, including cheese, milk, or other dairy products, and gelatin. Okay, so pretty crazy. So it kind of like trains, the ticks essentially train your body to have an immune response from this sugar molecule, which is actually in all these different types of meats. All right. And it's kind of like, tricking your body to your immune system to freak out, because it relates it to the tick bite now, right? You had a bad immune response from this tick bite, and the alpha-gal sugars, and those same sugars are in the red meat, and now your body's having a response to that, right? So pretty concerning that this is spreading, and now we're getting confirmed. I bet there's actually been more people that have died from this that we just don't even know about, and they just never really linked it. All right, even this person initially died, and they just said, well, what do they say, sudden unexplained death. All right, it's kind of a I mean, if I die, I hope they don't label it, or when I die, I hope they don't label it as that one day. Hopefully no time soon. All right, I'm not planning on that at all. I got 3 kids, but I hope it's not labeled. I hope they at least have some type of explanation instead of literally unexplained death. That's not really closure for the family or anything like that. So I am glad that this doctor actually looked into this and thought about it as well too, and knew about this. All right, this is something that it's kind of been around actually for a couple decades, but especially the past 5 years, I've seen this explode in popularity, this alpha-gal syndrome. And I think the medical system is still kind of catching up to it too, because it is such an anomaly. It's so strange. We don't exactly know where it came from. There's a lot of different theories. People worried, some type of experimentation gone wrong, some type of release or some type of engineering, something like that. I'm not saying it is, but people speculate that when things like this happen, right? Because it's concerning. Where do these new things pop up from, right? So, and it says here, when people eat any foods containing the allergens, they experience serious allergy symptoms within a few hours, although some may only have mild reactions. Symptoms include rash, nausea, vomiting after eating beef, pork, or lamb. According to researchers, some may also experience itchy or scaly skin, swelling of the lips, face, or tongue and throat, and wheezing or shortness of breath, according to the Mayo Clinic. Although fatal anaphylaxis has been noted as a rare risk in severe cases, the New Jersey man's death was the first attributed to this allergy. Other factors that may have contributed to the severe reaction, according to the Platts Mills, include a beer he drank with his burger, his exposure to ragweed pollen, and recent exercise. I'm not really sure how those... it's only 49, right? 47. That's not old at all. So, pollen, I don't know. I don't know how those are attributed. Maybe he, maybe it contributed to the, his immune system overload. But I think the primary culprit here is this alpha-gal. It says the Platts Mills, former chief of UVA's Health Division of Asthma, Allergy, and Clinical Immunology, warned in the press release that severe abdominal pain occurring 3 to 5 hours after eating beef, pork, or lamb should be investigated as a possible episode of anaphylaxis. Alright, so something to keep in mind. And not like, it's kind of hurting, maybe you gotta go to the bathroom, but it's severe, stabbing pain. Alright, I think that's what they are alluding here. And if you have any type of things like that, symptoms, get it checked out. Alright, get it checked out. Who knows? Especially if it's happened multiple times now after you've eaten steak or eaten a burger. And this would be devastating for me. I mean, this is my entire diet. Is like red meat. I mean, I eat other stuff too, but that's my entire like protein intake is red meat. I eat chicken sometimes. But I mean, it would be devastating for me. I don't even know what I would eat if this happens. So I would hopefully this doesn't continue to get worse, but it seems like it is. Thankfully, it seems to be limited mostly to the eastern half of the United States, right? I know that's not good for people there, but at least if you live on the western half, then most likely you can avoid that for now until something happens, till it spreads over there, because there's this big divide in the middle of the country. The plains, Kansas, it's hard for the pests to travel across here and then also survive in the harsh environments of the Rockies. So it's just a little bit different. There's different trees, there's different predators, things like that. So it's not as prevalent on the west. Let me pull up a map really quick for you guys so you guys can see exactly where it's hitting the hardest. So you guys can see this is the primary region where this Lone Star tick lives, and it has been expanding. Okay, so this area has expanded, but it's kind of hard for it to completely exist in the harsh winter environments and the harsh desert environments as well too, where there's not as much water, okay, and where the elevations are higher and it just gets a lot colder. Okay, so that's kind of the barrier that is keeping the Lone Star tick within this yellow region. But I'm telling you, down in Florida at least, let me know your experience. I was getting swarmed with these things every time I went outside almost. It was crazy. They were all over my dog. They're all over my kids. They were like on my kids' scalp, on their head, like getting in their hair. Okay? These things are nasty. They like to hide in crazy places. And they'll be under your armpit. They're all over the place. Alright? They'll just burrow in. And sometimes you don't even realize until the next day, like this thing has been on you all night. And then you got this big welt on you. Okay, from this tick bite. So be extremely careful. And if you get bit, try to remove it as quickly as possible. And also clean the area too is recommended with something like iodine or something along those lines that will disinfect the area and kill any type of bacteria, right, from the tick bite. So, and this is not even mentioning like Lyme's disease or anything like that people deal with as well too. So it says here that he also noted that tick bites that itch for more than a week can, quote, induce or increase sensitization to mammalian-derived meat. Quote, on the other hand, most individuals who have mild to moderate episodes of hives can control symptoms with an appropriate diet. Okay, I had a bad one last year. I'm just thinking because I got bit so many times. I literally saw more ticks than I ever saw last year in my entire life. And then I've maybe seen one the past year out west. But they're swarming in the southeast right now. But I got one on my arm over here. And it stuck on overnight. And I didn't pull it off till the next day. I just didn't see it. It was like under my shirt sleeve. And I just didn't notice it. These things are crazy. And it was itching. It just reminded me it was itching for at least a week, a couple weeks. Thankfully I didn't get this alpha gal, but who knows. I was definitely like kind of feeling not great, and I was having a ton of inflammation too, like weird joint pain and stuff like that I normally don't have. So who knows? I don't know. I don't like to really think too much about stuff like that, because I know sometimes it can make it even worse when you're just sitting there, overthinking about it. But these ticks are nasty. They're bad, and you really have to be careful with them, right? It says a diagnosis of AGS requires antibody testing and a clinical exam. Many patients face a long road to diagnosis, an average of 7 years, according to Dr. Johannes Salzer, CDC epidemiologist and author of the 2023 report on AGS. Okay, so 7 years, they're saying it takes people to diagnose them. I think they need to figure out a much quicker way. People could be dead in 7 years with this, and that's just not a way to live either, to be dealing with this and low quality of life, not being able to eat half the things you're supposed to be able to eat. It says to get diagnosed, they have to have access to an allergist. For many people, there are barriers to get that level of treatment. When someone is diagnosed with AGS, a person may have it for a lifetime. However, for some, if they remove the foods from their diet, they can reactivate alpha-gal syndrome, and over time their antibody levels may drop. So they're saying, over time you can. That's what I've read too, is that it's normally like a spike for most people where they have reactions for, a few years, maybe 5 years, and then it slowly wanes off and they can kind of like get back into eating these things. There are a number of things that healthcare providers can provide to alleviate symptoms depending on the patient's individual reactions. Those with more severe reactions are administered EpiPens in case they go into anaphylactic shock. It says prevention tips to protect against tick bites. Use a EPA-approved insect repellent. All right, oil of lemon, eucalyptus, paramethane diol, DEET. All right, DEET. Sorry, DEET. All these things can help. I mean, that's another issue, is spraying yourself with pesticides, honestly. But if you're really worried, it's better than getting alpha-gal syndrome at this point. But one of the biggest things that I've noticed is just keeping the grass cut low as well too, and just like clearing up debris and branches and leaves and stuff like that, especially in like the immediate area where you're hanging out. Try to just like clear it up, right? Have the grass real short. That way birds and other animals, things like that, can see these ticks and get them. And the ticks like to be where it's kind of moist and shady as well too, and where they have places to hide. All right, that's definitely one of the best ways to prevent them. And also certain animals like guinea fowl, I've seen people report, never personally, I've had a ton of chickens, all right, but I still have chickens, but I've never had guinea fowl, and people report that they eat them up too, all right. So, and it says here that wearing long sleeve shirts, long pants, socks, things like that, avoiding grassy, bushy, wooded areas obviously can prevent it. And when returning from an area, be sure to shower and do thorough checks. And they're saying that people who live in areas that are at risk, quotes, more specifically, if they have unexpected episodes of severe abdominal pain occurring several hours after eating mammalian meat, they should be investigated for possible sensitization to alpha-gal syndrome. All right, so let me know what you guys think down below. Just be prepared. Be ready. All right, I think this is just one of the things that we are dealing with. I think they're throwing a whole host of things at us right now. And this is part of the reason why the healthcare systems are so bad and healthcare prices are so out of control. Part of it is due to regulation and just kind of honestly like scam, like these insurance companies scamming because they know they're gonna just get money anyways, especially these subsidies. But also a major part of it too is that a lot of people are just very unhealthy, and a lot of it is due to things like this, contaminants, environmental factors, and our food being junk, being poisoned, toxic, right? It's a lot of things. So your health is wealth, right? Try to stay healthy, try to stay prepared, stocked up. I hope you guys have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.